Hello and welcome to InfoHub. We have major news to wrap up the week. The High Court rules that the Gecom chairman's appointment is fit and proper. The Arthur Chung Conference Center is back in operation after billion-dollar rehabilitation. Minister Hughes projects 200 public services to be online by 2020. The Rusal Task Force begins meetings, and we have a comprehensive roundup from this week's cabinet meeting. We begin with the major news that Chief Justice Roxanne George today ruled that President David Granger's appointment of Justice James Patterson as Gecom chairman is fit and proper. Chief Justice George ruled that President Granger had properly executed the discretion to have made the appointment and was in perfect legal order to have rejected opposition leader Bar Jagdeo's several lists. The Chief Justice awarded costs to the state in the sum of $250,000. The case was brought by PPP executive Zulfikar Mustafa, who had PPP MP Anil Nandlal as his attorney. Government's team was headed by Attorney General Basil Williams. The newly renovated Arthur Chung Conference Center was unveiled by President David Granger and Ambassador of the People's Republic of China to Guyana, Chui Chun.
The newly renovated Arthur Chung Conference Center was unveiled by President David Granger and Ambassador of the People's Republic of China to Guyana, Chui Chun. The head of state reminded that the symbolic building not only pays tribute to Guyana's first president, but to the two nations' bond.
Building is a monument to the deep friendship between the Cooperative Republic of Guyana and the People's Republic of China. It reinforces the unbroken bond forged 165 years ago, when the first Chinese immigrants landed in West Damran. The naming of this splendid structure in honor of President Arthur Chung. This ceremony pays tribute not only to an eminent citizen, a patriot and a public servant, but he's also the best known and most outstanding Guyanese of Chinese origin. It pays tribute also to the enduring friendship between our two peoples and our two republics.
Ambassador Chui Chun commended the administration for having dedicated the center to the first Chinese to govern a non-Asian country. The ambassador also noted that the repairs signifies the confidence that the People's Republic of China has in Guyana.
I do think that I'm confident that we can work together with international, with community, especially with diplomatic corps in Guyana. We do think that we can do more things, and we believe that Guyana has bright and a better future. I would like to emphasize that the one key word today's handover ceremony reflects the President's commemoration of the Arthur Chung family and the confidence or cohesion of the Chinese community, and a very, very important thing for the commitment of the relations between the two countries.
The building, initially named the Guyana International Conference Center, was unveiled on February 16, 2006 and saw 13 conferences in its initial year. The facility was later renamed Arthur Chung Conference Center in 2015 by the coalition government in honor of Guyana's first president, Arthur Chung, who served from 1970 to 1980. From the spanking new facility with videographer Joanne Jordan, Zanil Williams for InfoHub.
Caricom's regional consultation on Caricom's single market and economy began today. Tiffany Rodius was at the Princess Ramada Hotel and filed this report.
Over the next 2 days here at the Ramada Princess Hotel, state and non-member state stakeholders will seek to identify challenges and develop priorities towards implementing the CSME. Secretary General of Caricom, Ambassador Erwin Larocque, is calling for a resolution towards the CSME.
We need to move the agenda along faster. The time we take to get things done is a cost to the private sector, and it's a cost in terms of credibility to the community at large.
However, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Ralph Gonsalves, says the community needs to be more practical when it comes to the CSME.
Why I don't believe that we can move to this single economy. One is because of the nature of the respective economies in our region and the uneven, though combined stage of underdevelopment.
And former Prime Minister of Jamaica, Bruce Golding, says there needs to be a deeper analysis of why the CSME has not become operational.
It seems to me that some member states are of the view that the CSME in its full implementation is likely to do them more harm than good. It's an issue that we have to confront.
The CSME was envisioned almost 30 years ago to facilitate the free movement of goods, services and people. While the common market was functionalized in 2006, achieving a single economy has proved challenging. With senior videographer Kenny Ann Bacchus, I'm Tiffany Rogers.
Minister of Public Telecommunications Cathy Hughes says Guyanese could see over 200 businesses going online by early 2020. Here is Alexis Rodney.
Guyana does not intend to stay lagging while the rest of the world morphs into the information and communication technology age, according to Minister Hughes. She was addressing ICT stakeholders participating in the IDB-sponsored Exponential Technology Training at the Marriott Hotel this morning.
I'm saying to you, by the end of next year, by 2020, there is going to be a total of 200 services that citizens require and businesses require online.
These will include the National Insurance Scheme, the Guyana Revenue Authority, the Guyana Lands and Survey Commission, and the National Bureau of Standards.
We cannot have individuals going to 10 places. So imagine your driver's license application, that application for the TIN number, all these services can be done online. And therefore, it is important that we start heading in that direction.
Minister Hughes emphasized Guyana is moving toward a 21st century government and invited the private sector to join, since technology can change everything for the better. Alexis Rodney for InfoHub.
The future of Guyana has never looked better. Our nation is on the cusp of a development program like never seen before. While Guyana is now emerging as an energy giant through the discovery of massive reserves of oil and natural gas, it is your government's intention that the huge benefits emerging from this will go where it matters most, to you, the people of this beloved country. There is a surge of confidence in the way Guyana is governed once again, and the level of investor interest is unprecedented. Guyana is poised to become the breadbasket of the region, and the pace at which this nation will grow through prudent fiscal management will be nothing short of impressive. But more than anything else will be the way every Guyanese, regardless of color, class, or creed, becomes a part of this historic period of national transformation, sharing in the wealth and well-being of it all as one Guyana.
Thanks for staying with us. Treasury Memorandum shows gross mismanagement of public accounts under PPP, billions in renewable energy projects to be completed by 2020. A Treasury Memorandum responding to queries by the Public Accounts Committee relating to the public accounts for the years 2012, 2013 and 2014 was presented to the Cabinet by Finance Minister Winston Jordan. Minister of State Joseph Harmon said the report concluded that there was gross mismanagement of resources over those years under the previous PPP administration.
Cabinet also noted the conclusions of the report, which stated that there was excessive waste, abuse, and mismanagement of the public resources, as well as a lack of financial transparency, accountability, discipline, and full compliance with the FMA Act, the Audit Act, and the Procurement Act.
Minister Harmon added that the report highlighted some of the most detailed responses to every query raised in each of the administrative regions. Public Infrastructure Minister David Patterson announced that several renewable energy projects involving solar, wind and hydro and amounting to some 30 megawatts will be completed by 2020. These will be constructed in the 3 new towns, Mahdia and several interior locations.
With regards to Bartica, we will be installing a 1.5 megawatt solar farm with storage, and obviously with storage means without it we can extend the life. The value of this is $3.87 million US. It will be funded by a loan, the IDB loan, and the IDB loan is diversification of the power matrix and power and energy security. The commencement, it shall be commenced in 2018 and has a completion time of 1.5 years, 18 months.
A micro hydropower project of 1 megawatt will be constructed at Iturbisi with funding under the Guyana Red Plus Investment Fund, GRIF, at a total investment cost of $5.22 million US. The time frame for implementation is 2.5 years. Minister Patterson added that a 2.2 megawatts dual hydro system using the Mokomoka and Kumu Falls will be constructed. This will be funded through the United Arab Emirates and the GRIF. The project time is 2.5 years.
We are now a member of the International Solar Alliance, and we have a line of credit, which is outside, which we haven't allocated as yet, of $50 million US. The idea with this is to have some indigenous villages powered, as well as some other areas. The Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs has been tasked, and the Ministry of Community has been tasked with identifying the villages. We're not doing rooftop, we're actually doing utility scale installations.
As the Guyana Women's Leadership Institute continues to take its training workshops around the country, Bartica was the most recent stop. At a 2-day workshop, women were encouraged to take up leadership roles. Leticia Isaacs has the details.
Minister Annette Ferguson said she was happy to see a large turnout of women at the workshop. She also noted that the level of interest expressed is a direct indication of their willingness to be involved in community development and local government positions, a field usually dominated by men.
It really touched my heart to see a lot of women in this room. That in itself is saying something to us that women are indeed ready to take up leadership roles in their respective communities and by extension, their country.
From its establishment in 1997, the Institute has been making significant contribution to the women's development across all 10 regions of our country. Regional Chairman Gordon Bradford.
The law stipulates that you must have a certain percentage of women in the councils, whether it's the mayor and town council, it's the regional democratic council, or in government itself. And I think that this session today is to bring information and to enlighten our women, especially the roles that they can also play in leadership.
The Guyana Women's Leadership Institute is an agency of the Social Protection Ministry. From the township of Bartica with senior videographer Kenny Ann Bacchus, Leticia Isaacs for InfoHub.
Government's Rusal task force has started meetings. Here's Daniil Williams with our final report.
The United States government recently imposed sanctions against Russian aluminum Rusal, a bauxite operation based in Guyana, employing over 500 persons. A 7-member task force was since established to address ongoing labor concerns and avert any potential crisis. Headed by Minister within the Ministry of Natural Resources, Simona Brooms, the task force also includes Minister within the Ministry of Finance, Jaipal Sharma, President of the Guyana Bauxite and General Workers Union, Lincoln Lewis, Member of Parliament, Odwin Rutherford, Chief Labor Officer, Charles Ogle, Member of Parliament, German Figueroa, and Secretary Alicia James.
This task force, we have to report to the Cabinet. That is the level of seriousness that we're talking about here. Every aspect of what is happening will be examined and will be dealt with. What was not happening before, I don't know, but going forward, what needs to be done will be done.
Visits will be made to the company's operation sites in Linden and Berbice in the coming weeks. President of the Guyana Bauxite Workers Union, Lincoln Lewis, highlighted that citizens need to pay more attention to the dire matter.
What is happening here is that as a country, we need to begin examining what these impacts are on not only on the economy but on the people, which will always be at the center of development.
Minister Brooms added that the task force plans to adhere to President David Granger's words.
Treat our people right and obey our laws. This task force definitely will ensure that that is happening.
Zanil Williams for Info Hub.
And now for the scheduled bridge closures. Thank you for joining us. Have a great weekend. Goodbye.